Okay, I'm here at the Four Freedoms Park on a beautiful Saturday afternoon with the artist Setsuko Winchester, who has a new project here. Ms. Winchester, can you tell me about it, please?
Yes, it's called as you can see, Freedom from Fear Yellow Bowl Project, and it's inspired by FDR's Four Freedoms in 1941, as it says on the wall here. FDR said that people everywhere in the world should be given freedom of speech, freedom of worship, freedom from want, and freedom from fear. And my project is about how a group of Americans, a year later, were rounded up merely for who they were. If you had 1/16 Japanese blood, you had to be put into a concentration camp. And so my project is about what happened to Americans in America by the American government at a time of great fear. And you know, it's to show the humanity of the people who were incarcerated after decades and decades, and 467-page congressional report. It discovered that no one was ever found guilty of any treason or espionage, and yet that story never comes out. Usually the story ends with, you know, Japanese people, we were at war, Pearl Harbor, and I have neighbors who say, you know, you had to be put away. But the truth of the matter is, the idea to imprison these people was first formed by FDR as early as 1936. And there was an order to the FBI to put these people under surveillance in 1939. So by 1941, there had been, you know, years of surveillance of these people who they had identified where they lived through the census report. It's an example of who gets protected, you know, when there's great fear in the country. Who is considered a citizen? Who's considered eligible for human rights? And the problem is that these people were citizens. These 70% were born here. They've never been to Japan. They didn't speak Japanese, and they were American citizens. So today they say it matters whether you're a citizen or not. That's not true. And actually, the immigrants, the foreign enemy aliens, as they were identified, actually had come to America as early as before 1906 and at the latest 1924 because of countless exclusion laws that were applied to Asian Americans and Asian peoples. So even those immigrants or aliens, enemy aliens, were here before most, you know, white immigration that happened between 1906 and 1930s. So my question is, who is an American? You know, I mean, Trump is asking the question, you know, make America great again. And so who is an American? In 1942, I'm an American. I was born right here in New York. I would not have been considered an American despite the fact I had citizenship. I'm assimilated. I speak English perfectly. And one of the ironies I find is that my husband is English. He is now an American citizen, but he is an immigrant. We travel all around the world, and people identify you by your English, you know. So we go to London, and I open my mouth, and they say, "Oh, you're an American." I go to Australia, I open my mouth, "You're an American." We were in Jaipur last year, India. They said, "Oh, you're an American." I go to Tokyo, "You're an American." Hong Kong, I'm an American. And I come back to America, and they say you're Japanese. So it's like, what does it mean to be an American? And I'm saying, I'm an American, and I'm telling an American story. This is an American story that happened to Americans in America by their own government. So that's what my story is about. Thank you very much.
What do the yellow bowls themselves represent?
The yellow bowls I hand-pinched. I'm a ceramicist, a journalist, and a photographer. And my project is called the Yellow Bowl Project online. So if you check it out, you'll see I took all all 120 yellow T-balls to all the 10 American concentration camps located in the Midwest and to the West. So all these T-balls have traveled over 16,000 miles. They've also been to the steps of the Supreme Court because four people that were incarcerated took the case to the Supreme Court and they lost. But over the years, because of the evidence that's been uncovered, their cases that they've been vacated. You know, their sentences have been vacated. They've been exonerated.
Korematsu?
Yeah, Korematsu, Gordon Hirabayashi, Minoru Yasui, and Mitsuya Endo. She's the only one that it was found that you cannot imprison a U.S. citizen that was loyal to she worked for I believe the city government of Los Angeles or San Francisco. I can't remember, but she was found innocent and released. But I believe even if she was found innocent, anybody who was found innocent still had to go to the camps. So if you were from the West Coast, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.